if I told you that every screen you touch, every road you walk, every belief you carry, and every fear you feel began long before nations, money, or even language existed? When a fragile human stood trembling in the dark, gripping a sharp stone while listening to predators breathe just beyond the firelight? Because human history is not a list of dates or kings, but a single unbroken story of survival, ambition, mistakes, and reinvention. And once you see that story clearly, you realize that the past is not behind you, it is alive inside you right now. This is not a school lesson, and it is not about memorizing timelines. This is the cinematic journey of how humans rose from dust to dominance, how we shaped tools and then let those tools shape us, and how every age ends not with certainty, but with a question that echoes into the next chapter. For most of human existence, life was simple and brutal because early humans did not dream of progress or comfort. They dreamed of making it to sunrise, hunted by animals stronger than them, surrounded by nature that could kill without warning. They learned to chip stones into blades, to use fire not just for warmth, but for protection and power. And they painted on cave walls not for beauty, but to tell stories of survival, warning, hope, and memory in a world where forgetting meant death. Slowly, almost accidentally, humans noticed patterns in nature, seeds falling and growing again, animals returning to the same places, seasons repeating, and one decision changed everything when humans stopped following food and instead made food follow them. Because once people stayed in one place, survival was no longer the only problem. And when survival stopped consuming every thought, a new idea was born: control. When humans learned to shape metal, bronze replaced stone and transformed society. Tools became stronger, weapons deadlier, and villages grew into cities that demanded order, leadership, and systems. So writing was invented to track food and trade, laws were created to control behavior, and kings rose to command labor and armies, while rivers like the Tigris, Nile, Indus, and Yellow became the cradles of civilization, where humans learned to cooperate on a massive scale. But civilization brought hierarchy, and hierarchy brought inequality, because power collected in the hands of the few, while the many worked, paid taxes, and fought wars they did not choose. And as cities expanded and competition intensified, bronze was no longer enough to fuel human ambition, because dominance required stronger tools, larger armies, and more permanent control, pulling humanity into an age defined not just by survival or organization, but by conquest. Iron changed the balance of power forever, because it was cheaper and more abundant than bronze, allowing ordinary people to carry weapons and rulers to raise massive armies. Kingdoms expanded rapidly, borders shifted violently, and empires swallowed smaller cultures whole, spreading language, religion, and law while erasing identities that survived for centuries, making history louder, bloodier, and faster than ever before. Yet amid the clash of iron and empire, something quieter but more dangerous emerged as humans began asking questions that weapons could not answer. Questions about justice, leadership, morality, and meaning. And these ideas spread across regions, preparing the world for an age where thought itself would become humanity's most powerful tool. In classical antiquity, civilizations reached beyond survival and conquest to understand existence itself. As Greek philosophers debated reality and ethics, Roman engineers built roads and laws that still shape nations. Indian scholars advanced mathematics and spirituality. Chinese thinkers refined governance and harmony. And across continents, humans attempted something radical: building societies based on reason, order, and shared values rather than fear alone. But greatness carried a hidden weakness. Because vast empires depended on fragile systems, and when corruption, overexpansion, and invasion struck, even the strongest civilizations collapsed under their own weight, leaving knowledge scattered, power fractured, and humanity stepping into a long period of uncertainty where faith would replace reason and survival would once again take center stage. After the fall of great empires, the world broke into smaller kingdoms ruled by loyalty, land, and belief, as religion became the foundation of daily life, offering hope, identity, and moral structure, while feudal systems locked people into rigid social roles. Castles rose over farmlands, and warfare became constant because vast empires depended on fragile systems, and when corruption, overexpansion, and invasion struck, even the strongest civilizations collapsed under their own weight, leaving knowledge scattered, power fractured, and humanity stepping into a long period of uncertainty where faith would replace reason and survival would once again take center stage. After the fall of great empires, the world broke into smaller kingdoms ruled by loyalty, land, and belief, as religion became the foundation of daily life, offering hope, identity, and moral structure, while feudal systems locked people into rigid social roles. Castles rose over farmlands, and warfare became constant, local, and personal, shaping a world where stability was rare and fear was familiar. Yet while much of Europe struggled, knowledge did not disappear, it migrated, as Islamic scholars preserved ancient texts, expanded medicine, astronomy, and mathematics. Trade routes connected continents, ideas flowed quietly across borders, and even devastating events like the Black Death could not stop humanity's hunger to understand the world, setting the stage for a rebirth that would challenge tradition itself. The Renaissance reignited curiosity. The Industrial Revolution mechanized life. Machines replaced muscle. Cities exploded. Humans conquered electricity, split atoms, walked on the moon, and connected the planet with invisible signals, transforming humanity faster in a few centuries than in all previous millennia combined. As empires rose and fell, democracies formed, science accelerated, and technology reshaped how humans worked, communicated, and imagined the future. But progress carried consequences because world wars revealed humanity's capacity for destruction. Industrial growth scarred the planet, and now artificial intelligence, climate change, and space exploration place humanity at another crossroads, echoing the same choice faced by our ancestors long ago: whether to adapt wisely or risk everything by moving forward without understanding the cost. Human history is not finished and it is not distant because every age began with a choice to cooperate or dominate, to create or destroy, to learn or repeat mistakes. And the same forces that shaped the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the modern world still shape us today, in quieter but more powerful ways. So the question is no longer where humans came from, because we already know that story. The real question is what we will become next, and whether the tools we are creating right now will save us, control us, or end the story that began with a single human holding a stone under a dark sky. If this journey through time made you see the world differently, take a moment to like this video so more people can find it. Share it with someone who loves big ideas and deep stories. Subscribe for more cinematic explorations of civilizations and history. And comment below what you think the next chapter of human history will be, because this story is still being written, and you are part of it.